paper, but I believe that you say that. I believe you. I believe you when you say
Yeah,
that.
because
No,
that's what he was found guilty of. We're
that,
going to use
that paper was blowed up, so I couldn't see
we're going to
it
use
all.
a very
But
basic inference rule here.
go ahead.
Very basic inference rule. Just a very basic inference. Okay, if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. Sexual abuse, which is what they found him guilty of, was equal to him forcefully penetrating her vagina with his fingers.
Okay.
Him forcefully penetrating her vagina
Okay.
with his fingers is equal to rape.
Okay.
A equals sexual abuse. B equals him forcefully penetrating her vagina with his fingers. C equals rape. Therefore, A equals C. The form of sexual abuse that they found him guilty of is identical and equal to rape. Therefore, if it's true to say that Donald Trump was found guilty of A, sexual abuse, then it's just as true to say that Donald Trump was found guilty of rape.
Okay, Dean, but here's what I'm trying to say, because I've seen it before. I mean, now you can laugh, giggle, get all that shit out of the way. I've seen this before, though. Here's what I'm going to try to tell you, is I have seen before, many times, where it's consensual. And then you let him get your hands in your pants, and you're going with it, and you're getting hot, and you're all that kind of stuff. And he starts to penetrate you, and then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, I want you to stop there. Yeah, boom. Now, there's a reason they didn't find him for rape, because that meets all the laws of rape, what you're telling me. There's a reason. And see, you and I, now hang on, you asked me to let you talk. There's a reason that they come to the conclusion that they did. And it was probably because they couldn't prove it, but they probably knew it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they went with that. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you, though, is there are many
You're fucking
people
disgusting.
out there.
You're a gross
Why
piece
am I
of
saying
shit.
disgusting? No, I said if she was going along with it, just like an affair. Let's say it's an affair. Let's say it was an affair. And they've been seeing each other 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And this and that and all, and then all of a sudden Trump doesn't want to see it. Now, I'm just saying this. We don't have privilege to all documents. We weren't in the courtroom. We didn't hear testimony. We didn't hear evidence. All we see is the results and what we want to make out of it. You can make out of it whatever you want to. I can make out. People can make a big story out of it. But what I'm trying to say is that's why I go by verdict and the land of the law. And that's why we have a 12-man jury and so on and so forth, because there are so many loopholes, that get people in and out of. I think for some reason you think that I'm trying to defend him, and I'm not. I'm just trying to follow the judicial
The last
system.
statement that you made was just riddled with contradictions and vulgarity.
Because you and I don't know what happened.
I'm going to go over.
We know.
I'm going to go
minimal.
over the contradictions and the vulgarities that your last statement was riddled with. The first contradiction that your last statement was riddled with is the fact that at the beginning of this statement, you seem to reject the findings of the jury by saying, well, I know they found him guilty, but he probably wasn't guilty because she probably lied. And then the last statement that you made is that you accept the verdict of the jury. Now, the vulgarities that you implied was the baseless assumption that you know that she was lying, and you know that the jury knew that she was lying because you quote unquote see it all the time. And the last one moment, Okay, you know what else you've seen before?
All the time.
You know what else you've seen before as an LEO? You've seen men actually raping women. You've seen women that were actually raped by men, taking their actual rapists to court and actually finding them guilty. So if we're going off of your priors, particularly the priors, that you've seen women falsely accuse men in rape in court of sexual crimes like rape or sexual abuse. Okay, well, I bet you have significantly more priors as an LEO of seeing women go to court accusing a man of rape or sexual abuse and finding them guilty, because according to RAINN.org, only around 7% of accusations are false, and that's not just the accusations that go to court, so I bet that even gets smaller. So the overall chances, in accordance with your prior experiences, would absolutely be that she was telling the truth and this actually happened, because a vast majority of prior experiences that you have as a previous LEO seeing women accuse a man of a violent sex crime and taking it to court and then finding him guilty are women that were truly a victim of said violent sex crime. Now, the last thing that I want to say here is you said, oh, I don't know, man. You accept the verdict of the court. Yes. Let me go over my A equals B, B equals C shit again. Do you accept that if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C? Do you accept that basic info?
Do I say? Oh, what'd you say?
I'll pull open the whiteboard. It's whiteboard time. I'm whiteboarding it. I'm whiteboarding it right now. We're whiteboarding it. Let's whiteboard it together, chat. Okay? Do you accept that if A equals B and B equals C, oh, sorry, that then
A equals C.
A equals C. Do you accept that, right?
I do.
Okay, check this out. We're going to replace these variables.
I know what you're doing.
Just
but
check this out.
that's
No, just
Dino
listen.
doing it. That's no
just,
law.
Just,
That's
just
no nothing doing it.
listen.
That's
Just,
Dean doing it.
No, it's logic doing it. It is logically necessary that if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. That's not.
And
I'm not.
You put a bunch of words in my mouth, and you know what? Most of them were wrong. And
Fuck.
the thing about it is the only thing I was trying to make is we weren't there. We don't have all the
Just
evidence.
let me make
we don't
my
have all
argument.
the documents. We didn't hear the testimony. We didn't hear
Just
none
let
of
me-
that.
just let me.
All you're doing is going by something somebody said or
bro,
something
bro.
somebody wrote and this and that. And I agree.
Bro,
I
bro.
agree.
Bro, just let me make my
Yes.
argument. You said that
No.
you do accept the verdict of the jury. True?
Look, bottom line is you're not going to swing me until somebody better gets in there than Kamala.
No,
And
just do you
that's-
just
No,
follow
that's
me.
it.
Do you
That's
remember
it. No,
saying?
no.
I'm done
with you. Let me
No,
tell you
you're
why.
running. You're running.
No,
You're running.
You try to talk to people like they're stupid.
All right,
and
bro,
yet-
then I'm just going to put you on mute and run the argument. Earlier, you said that you accept the verdict of the jury. So A is the verdict of the jury. The verdict of the jury was sexual assault, which was that he forcefully penetrated a woman's vagina with his fingers against his will. Okay, the verdict of the jury. Now, B is forced penetration, okay, using his fingers of her vagina. And then you accepted that the forced penetration of a woman's vagina with this man's fingers is rape, okay? So the verdict of the jury was equal to forced penetration of her vagina with his fingers. That's true. That is the literal action that they found him guilty of. Forced penetration of a woman's vagina with a man's finger is equal to rape. That's true. I accept that, and earlier you did too. Huh. What does that leave us with? A equals C. Verdict of the jury equals rape. How can you contest this? This is the most simple inference ever. He can't contest it. He left. Holy fuck. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. They're calling it an inferential beatdown. That's what they're calling it, folks. The streets are calling it an inferential beatdown, folks. He was fucking terrible. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. What a way to start the debates for the night. Jesus fucking Christ. We have a couple people to thank for the donations. If you do want to support the live streams, you can. You could find a link to my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio on TikTok and the pinned message over on that YouTube stream, as well as the handle will always be at the top of the phone screen on TikTok too. It's literally just my name, Dean Withers, without the letter E in the last name, Withers. Make sure that you get every character right, or else you'll end up sending your hard-earned money to a fake account. Alrighty, folks. We got Braylon, your king, loading up in the box. They've been in the box a handful of times, but it looks like they're back now. I hope that they end up joining in. We also said that we get TPA up here with Country Revival, but I don't know where Country Revival is at. TPA, where's
He's there.
Country?
He's requested. He's in the
Yes.
comments.
Perfect. He's in the queue?
It's hard to get in the queue. I think he's trying, but he sent a rose. I saw it say Country sent a rose. He's in the comments. I just saw him a moment ago.
Okay. Have him send a rose right now.
Well, he just heard you, so it's kind of mean that you're making him send a rose. Can't you just invite him?
There he
The
is.
viewers?
The only way... How many viewers do we have?
Heard you. Oh, there we go, baby.
All right, welcome in, you two.
So, Dean,
This was a trap, Country Revival. I trapped you. I trapped you, Country Revival, because I was giving you a beat
What was that that you
down.
said about Eugene Carroll?
I was giving you
What was that that you said
a
about Eugene
beat
Carroll?
fucking down.
Wait. Criminal conviction? Criminal conviction, Dean? Did you say he was criminally convicted, Dean? A
No.
plus B, or A equals B equals C? You were saying he's criminally convicted?
I
You just
actually
admitted
still
in the
have
last
the
one he's
whiteboard
not.
on this stream. This was the A equals B equals C. That's just the verdict of the jury.
Uh-huh.
Where does it say
Uh-huh.
criminal anywhere in this?
Criminally convicted or civilly? So are you acknowledging that it's civilly convicted or criminally convicted now?
As I acknowledged, maybe upwards of 30 times on Parker's Live, this was a claim of civil liability.
So he's not guilty then.
I reject that. I think that guilt is just to be responsible.
How can you
for-
reject that if the legally he's not?
I'll tell you.
You can't
I'll tell you how I
reject that
would.
because by the legal basis he can get
Oh.
you for defamation.
Oh
Dean.
wait,
Did
what do you
know
mean
that?
by can't? What modality of possibility are you invoking by saying I can't do that? Oh wait, that's forgot. You're
So
a philosophical
legally,
woke
are you
here.
allowed-
Get
legally,
dogged.
are you allowed
Get
to
knowledge
claim
gaps.
he's a
Sorry,
criminal?
no, but anyways, the reason why I reject that
Is he a
is
criminal
because
or not?
is he? Yes, he is a criminal.
Is he a criminal or not? Answer the fucking question.
Donald Trump is a criminal.
By conviction of grape, yes or no?
By conviction of 34 felonies for business-related fraud.
What about for grape?
No, there's no criminal conviction for rape for the 31st time.
Thank you for acknowledging again in front of all of your
Again,
people.
for 31 times.
Now,
is that
why is it that you chased TPA off?
Oh yeah, because I don't want to speak.
Why
with
is it that you chased TPA off?
For the reasons that I gave on Parker's Live. Would you like me to repeat?
Why
them
is
here?
that?
Oh, okay, perfect. I'll repeat the reasons. Because 2 days ago, I had a conversation with TPA, and that conversation was an hour long, but the substance of that conversation can be reduced down to 30 seconds. So he made the claim that abortion is murder. I asked him why he thinks that abortion is murder, and then he said because he intuits that that abortion is murder. Then it's like, okay, so you know that abortion is murder because of your intuitions, and he said, yeah,
He told
my
you he
standard
didn't
for
want a
knowledge is
debate
my
on
intuitions.
abortion.
But then
He
one
told you he
moment,
didn't want
but
a
then
debate on
but then I
abortion.
asked him, would you
He
say
literally
similarly
told you
that a
he
rapist
didn't want a
can
debate on
know
abortion.
that rape is
He was pro-choice
okay.
and you convinced him to be pro-life.
Are you pro-life?
He was pro-choice and you convinced him to be pro-life. Good job, Dean.
Are you pro-life?
I am, but do you want to talk about Trump or do you want to talk about something else?
Why are you pro-life?
Why am I pro-life? Because it's saving a human being.
Okay. So, the fetus is a human being, and you think it's wrong to kill the human being. So why is it wrong to kill the fetus?
Do you not? It is wrong to kill a human being.
Okay.
It is wrong to kill a human being. Can you give me a
Okay.
demonstration where it's not?
Sure, self-defense. Now, the claim that you made is that it's wrong
What
to kill
about
the fetus
unjustifiably?
in virtue of the fact.
What about unjustifiably?
What's the
What
question?
about unjustifiably?
What's the question?
What about unjustifiably? Is it still morally acceptable?
So it's an analytical truth that if you assume it's unjustified, then it's wrong, because if something's wrong, it just means that it's morally unjust.
So if it's unjust,
Then it's
give me the
murder.
justification for take.
Okay, you cut out there, but it seems like you asked me for the justification for
then
abortion.
it's murder, right?
Yeah, well, I'll just give you my argument that I think
Yep.
it's a good thing. That's fine. I just think that the greatest weight of reasons favors it, and I could give you a breakdown of what I mean when I say this. When we look at the reasons for women getting abortions and then the reasons against women getting abortions, I just simply think that the reasons for it outweigh the reasons against it. Like, what are some of the reasons why women get abortions? Okay, you have financial reasons, you have instrumental reasons, you have relational reasons, you have medical reasons, you have emotional reasons, you have professional reasons. Okay, and many, many more. But then what are the reasons against a woman getting an abortion? I mean, I could think of one.
What are
maybe.
the percentage of medical reasons
in
that you're
there.
listing? Hold on. What are the reasons that you're medically listing? What's the percentage of abortions for that?
Okay.
Are you standing on victims and able to make your claim?
Okay, so you cut me off while I was making my argument. That's fine. We'll hop into the reasons. You asked me what percentage of abortions concern
Yes, I did.
medical reasons.
And also,
So all-
I will
so
go.
all
I will, how
pregnancies
about this, Dean?
concern
I will
medical
go
reasons.
and debate you on tax-paying Americans live. If
Okay,
you
so
want to
is this a
go and have a
dodge?
debate, let's go debate on tax-payings live.
So I'm
Let's
just
go
gonna
debate on
answer-
tax-payings live since you lied. Since
I'm
you
just
said
gonna-
it,
I'm
the
just
reason
gonna-
that I was allowed to come up was
just gonna
because
answer-
tax-paying was up here as well.
I'm just gonna answer
It's
you
okay,
here. So
Dean.
you asked
it's
me.
okay, Dean. The whole
One
reason I
second.
came
You
up was
asked
to
me-
get your criminal conviction.
You asked me a
Criminally
question.
convicted.
Are you running? You
Criminally
asked me.
convicted?
Holy dodge!
Yes
you
or
asked me
no?
a question.
And he's not
you asked me.
criminally
You
convicted
asked me
for
what
Eugene
which percentage of pregnancies
It's
have
the
medical
Eugene
reasons?
Carroll case. You ran
All-
from it.
all
you acknowledged that
abortions-
he's not criminally convicted.
What?
So
I'm-
every time I
okay.
hear
I'm
you come up
confused
here
on
and
what's
make the
going
criminally
on.
conviction claim,
How
I
much
bet
money?
you
do
are. I bet
how
you
much
are.
money do you want to bet that in this live stream I made the claim that Donald Trump was criminally convicted of rape?
I don't bet money, but I bet you have enough money from
Right.
your grifters to bet money from their pockets.
Oh, my grifters.
Oh!
What is a grifter? What is that?
Oh!
Okay.
So you can take money
My
and make bets
grifters,
with
the people-
your followers'
the
money
people that
they
send me
donate
money?
to you. Yeah, they donate money to you to do.
Oh, like
things
Brax
on
with a
your
$10 donation on Venmo. Thank you, Brax. That is BRAX with a $10. Can you say thank you, Brax, for donating me $10?
If you
Why
don't
does that
bring
make me a
tax up,
grifter?
I'm leaving.
Well, I
If
mean,
you don't
you're,
bring tax up, I'm leaving.
you're gonna leave because you confused
If you
extreme
don't
medical
bring tax up,
exemptions.
I'm leaving.
The reason why you're gonna leave
If you don't bring tax,
the reason I muted you because you're incessantly interrupting me. The reason why you're gonna leave is because I gave you the reasons for women getting abortions,
lose.
and then
You
you
said-
made a blunder because you went on to say that well,
you lose.
what
You
are,
said you wouldn't mute me. You lose. You said you wouldn't mute me.
sir, you weren't letting me get my sentence
You
out.
lose. You said you wouldn't mute me.
You weren't letting me get my sentence out. You interrupted me 4 times.
Caller.
You interrupted me 4
Thank
times.
you so very much. Concession.
You were incessantly interrupting me.
Concession.
You had incessantly
Go
interrupted me.
debate me on tax-paying Americans Live. I will
You're
see you
just
there.
running.
Thank you
But
so
he's gonna
much.
leave now because he's running because he made a blunder. I'm gonna explain his blunder now that he left. So he asked me for the argument for why I think that abortion's a good thing. I gave him the argument why I think that abortion's a good thing. I gave him all of the reasons why women get abortions. One of the reasons that I gave was medical reasons. And then he said, oh, well, what percentage of pregnancies have medical reasons? And he realized that that was a fucking blunder because all pregnancies have medical concerns. What do you think giving birth is? Okay. Now, what he was doing was he was conflating medical exemptions with medical reasons. Yeah. But anyways, what a toddler. What a toddler. Let's get some L guests in the chat. Why are they always so emotional? I think that they get emotional because I can prove them wrong. At least that's what I would say. I guess another debate, another win for me. Moving on to the next guest. Thank you so much, Nix, for the summer cheer. They're so emotional, bro. Jesus fuck! Calm down! Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Bad child. Laura, thank you for the galaxy. Bridget, I really appreciate you for the $25 donation on Venmo. Let's get 250 Bridget W's down below in that chat. That is very, very kind of you. Huge shout out to Bridget down below. Thank you for the $25 who says, something about this guest tells me that there's a statutory grape on his record. Mansplaining is gross. Well, I know that you're talking about the guest before the last one. I wouldn't say that, but he was definitely a red flag. I appreciate you for the $25, Bridget. Thank you so much as well, Alec, for the $20, who says, hey, Dean, just saw Hoff on a different life. He'll never pay up his words. Anyways, love what you do and informing the uninformed. Well, thank you so much for the $20, Alec. That is very, very kind of you. Thank you so much for the love and support. I want to get 200 Alec W's down below. Thank you so much, Donica, for the $10, who says, ask him how often women have allegations like this against him monthly. It seems like there was quite a few viewers in agreement that the guest that we're having the debate about as it would relate to E. Jean Carroll was a fucking red flag. Thank you so much for the $10, Donica. Elizabeth with the $5 on Venmo says, is this you, Dean? It sure is. And Jared, thank you for the $20, who says, I got a new bumper sticker today. I'm not going to read that out loud, Joe. Just know that you were a very funny man. I'm going to see 200 JRWs down below. I'm very grateful for you. Thank you for the $20. Same thing to Aline. Thank you for the $10. She says, please remind Michigan to vote tomorrow, preferably for Abdul. Yes, folks, vote tomorrow. Thank you for the $10, Aline. And then Sarah, thank you for the $10 as well. You says, my favorite cat shirt. Yeah, bro, we got the cat shirt on today. Hell yes. And then Amy with the $10 on Venmo says, I'm enjoying your debates. Thank you so much for the love. And then Mr. Joseph, thank you for the $50 donation on Venmo. I understand that you do want me to keep the contents of that message to myself, so I will, but just know that I'm very grateful for you, man. That is a shit ton of money, and I'm very, very grateful for you. Let's get 500 Joseph W's down below in that chat. I am beyond thankful for you. Huge shout out to Joseph. Thank you so much for the love. The absolute Chad. Huge shout out to Joseph. Welcome in J6E. Do you support Trump?
I'm not in the bath. Please don't kill me.
Why? Why do you feel the
So
need
what?
just to be so fucking weird? If you were just like you're just like randomly outside in public, you never walk up
I'm not
to
in
a
public.
stranger,
I'm in my garage.
tell them that you're not in the bath, ask them not to kill you, and then start like moaning loudly. So like, why do you do it to me?
I don't know.
Guys, get a grip. Get a grip. Get a fucking grip, okay? Get a grip. You need a grip. You do. You do need a grip. You all need a grip. Everybody get a grip. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. We still have a country's back. Unless this is a fake country. This might be a fake country. We'll see. Finn, thank you for the glowing jellyfish. While our next guest is loading in over on PayPal, thank you for the $21. Cammy, C-A-M-M-I, thank you for the $21. Who says, hey, Dean, enjoying my daily dose of Dean while celebrating 90 days sober. Keep changing minds. Proud of you, and you are, and proud of me. I am proud of you too, Cammy. I'm so proud of you. You've been watching the live streams for a very, very, very long time. Just know that I really appreciate you for the $21, and I'm so proud of you for being sober 90 days. That is a huge fucking accomplishment. Same thing to you, Molly, Amber, Alexis, and another Molly. I appreciate y'all for the $5. Thank you so much for the love. And then Becca with the $10 who says Momo for president 2028. Who knows? She'd be better than Trump, not even trolling. Then Evan, thank you for the $15 who says, hey, Dean, just wanted to send a quick thank you. My older sister was in a wreck a few months ago and we almost lost her. And we did lose her unborn son, Stetson. Since then, your streams have made it easier for me to get by and made it, thank you so much. I'm so fucking sorry to hear that happened to your family. That is just genuinely terrible. Okay. Thank you so much for the $15, Evan. Country Revival. Is this a real Country Revival?
Yeah.
Are you in the bath?
I mean, no, me? What? I'll stamp my foot if you want me to.
Jessica, do you support Trump? Jessica's not even here. I'd also like to give a big shout out to Jody, Jodi. Thank you for the $24 donation over on PayPal. Thank you so much for that love, Jody. Jody with the $24 says, hey, Dean, I'm Jody. I recently miscarried and your streams have really helped to get me through it. You kept a smile on my face when it felt impossible. Thank you. Just stay you and you will succeed. Thank you for the $24, Jody. I'm really sorry to hear that happened to you. I can't imagine how painful that must be. And I'm just happy that the streams have been able to give you some recourse of happiness. And I'm just so happy to hear that from people in general, that our live streams help you out. Genuinely. Thank you so much for the $24. Joe, how old are you?
Hi, Dean.
Milwaukee, do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
Oh my God! Fetus hours! Stay out of the queue, children. Moving on to the next guest. Only opposite side of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. And 18 plus. And 18 plus. It says that very clearly on the rules to the live stream. Thank you, David, for the $25. Who says, you wouldn't believe how much the Thai people hate Trump. Let's see here. They are refused of any service and shouted out of the street. Where, dude? I appreciate you so much. Oh, in Thailand, you're saying that MAGA people with MAGA hats on are refuse service. Fucking base, dude. Appreciate you so much for the $25 and the absolute truth, Nuke. Let's go. Appreciate you. And then one last person to thank for now on PayPal. Thank you, Lucky Lazy, for the $20. He says, hello, I don't know if you remember me. I sure do. I have a genuine question. Any research I do leaves me confused. I live in KS now and we have this vote tomorrow. I know it's for our ability to determine state legislators, but would yes be for that or no? What would either vote mean for my home? Well, I'd actually direct you to look up local resources. That's the thing about local elections. I can't really give you information about your local elections because they're very far away from me and my local elections. But when you say, here's what I look up. What are my local elections and why do they matter? And then put in your district and you'll get a bunch of information that will definitely really help you out. Thank you for the $20, Lucky Lazy. Let's go to get the next guest up. Only opposite side of the queue if you are here for debate, everybody. I'd really appreciate it so much if you guys could try your very best to follow the rules. On Super Chat, thank you for the $20. Emily, who says serious medical conditions and pregnancy complications can lead to women needing abortions to protect their lives. Heart failure, chemotherapy, or radiation, premature rupture of membranes, kidney diseases, etc. Now, there are definitely many serious medical complications and which could cause a woman to need an abortion, else risk dying or actually dying. There's a lot of abortion abolitionists that just straight up don't care and think that the woman's life should be sacrificed. They're fucking crazy. Thank you for the $20. Welcome in, Eva. Do you support Trump?
Fuck you, Dean. Fuck.
Okay. Thank you, Maddie, for the $20. Let's get 200 Maddie W's down below in that chat while we're looking for the next Trump supporter as well. Maddie with the 200 says, hey, Dean, I know that you've said this before, that you're against kids getting into politics, but how do you feel about teens that are close to adulthood getting into politics? That's a good time to start transitioning. teenage years, that's a good time to start being like more concerned with the specifics about politics. Thank you for the $20. Same thing to Air with the $20 who says, hey Dean, you're the best. Never stop what you're doing. Well, thank you so much, Air. Let's get 200 Air W's. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As well as Ash, thank you for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat. And Sarik, thank you for the $10 as well. Appreciate y'all. Welcome in Glitch. Do you support Trump?
Yo.
Can you guys stay out of my queue unless you're here for a debate? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. In the meantime, make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen and trying out that live with a couple friends. Welcome in. Do you
Hello?
support Trump?
I do.
How do you?
I am 23.
Okay, sounds good, man. I have like 3 people to thank. Then Mike, the floor yours.
So I'm not here to argue that Donald Trump is perfect, because he isn't. I'm here to argue that many Americans support him because they believe his policies produce better outcomes than the alternatives. And we should judge presidents primarily on results and not whether we like them personality.
Okay. Like I said, I have like 3 people to thank, and then I'll pass the mic to you. First and foremost, Lotus, I really appreciate you so much for the 70 Canadian dollar donation on Super Chat. Thank you, Lotus. You are the best. That is so much love, and I'm very grateful for you. Let's get 700 Lotus W's down below. Thank you so much for supporting what we do. You asked me not to read your message out loud. I thought I would inform you that that is a YouTube Super Chat, so anybody on YouTube can read your message. I would recommend clicking the 3 dots next to it and then just hitting the delete button. That's what I'd recommend doing. And just for like a big future PSA for my YouTube viewers, if you do support over Super Chat, everybody will be able to read it. Now, why don't you take it away, Alex, and tell us why you support Trump?
So,
I guess you kind of did. You told us that you're more so concerned with outcomes compared to personality. Well, see, the thing is I think that the character of the president has very meaningfully and relevant impacts on what they do as president. I mean, this makes
Yes,
sense
100%.
because what is the
Well,
president doing? They're enacting upon their values. They're enacting upon what they think would be best for America. They're enacting upon what they think would be best for the future of the country. And if there's like some issue with their character, maybe they're like Trump and they're a violent sexual predator, meaning that they don't care about other people. Okay, well, if they don't care about other people, then they lack a core foundational moral virtue that I would argue is required for public service. Because if one of our public servants, like our president, straight up doesn't care about us, then they're significantly less likely to influence the passing of policy that would benefit us.
All right, let me ask you this. So you talk about that. You think Kamala Harris would have been better? You think she was the person to be president? Let me ask you one thing. When she was vice president, what was the first thing that she was in charge of as vice president? What was the first thing she was in charge of?
I want to be able to tell you the first thing that she was in charge of. I would assume it was just helping to pass the American Rescue Plan.
It was the southern border. She was in charge of making sure the southern border was secure and making sure that everything over there was right. And how did that go?
Do you think that it's important to justify your claims with evidence?
Yes, you can look it up.
Yeah, what's your evidence for that?
Go look it up. You have your thing. You have your little Google thing. Go look it up and bring it up on
What do you
Search
want?
Bar right now.
What do you want me to look up?
Look up, was Kamala Harris, what was the first thing that she was in charge of as vice president? And then look at the results of that. And while you're looking that up, I'm going to go get my charger. I'll be right back. I want it popped up when I'm back.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, I mean, if for what it's worth, Google AI tells me I'm right and you're wrong. A lot of people will often make the claim that Kamala Harris was in charge of the southern border when that is just absolutely and undeniably false.
So you don't think she had any
And funny enough, Google AI actually affirms this. So Google AI says that her first major policy portfolio in charge as VP was leading the diplomatic efforts to address the root causes of migration from Central America announced in March of 2021. And Google AI is actually right. So Kamala Harris never had any authority or special governance through roles and tasks delegated to her by Biden over the southern border. Okay? Her goal was rather to work diplomatically with Southern Latin American and Central American countries to reduce migration from their countries to our country by solving socioeconomic inadequacies. Okay, and she did this quite effectively. She was able to reduce migration from Guatemala upwards of 50%.
I don't know. She definitely was in charge. And even if she wasn't, say when Biden was running, let's go back when Biden was running. He was in charge of it too. How did that go?
Okay, so you seem to want to shift
That's
it.
the main reason. You know that.
So I
That's
just
the main
so
reason
I asked
why
you
did
for your
Trump win?
evidence.
Why do you think-
I
why do you think
asked
Trump
you for your
won?
evidence
Why do you
for
think he
your.
won?
I asked you for your evidence for your claim. Okay, then you said just Google it. I Googled it. Google said something contradictory to your claim. And then I expanded on the thing that Google said by explaining what Google said. Okay. And then you responded on by saying, oh, no, bro, I'm just right. And then you tried to pivot to another claim altogether about Biden. So before we pivot to another claim altogether about Biden, I want you to respond to what I have said concerning Kamala Harris's diplomatic efforts to reduce immigration from southern Latin American countries compared to your claim, which was that she had control over the border.
Why do you think Trump won the past election? What was the main reason he won it? Why do you think he won it?
The majority of individuals polled by exit pollers at the voting booths stated that they voted for Trump because of the economy, but this is a massive pivot far and away from the claim that you made.
No.
Yes, the claim that you made was that Kamala Harris had certain authority over the southern border. Me and Google agreed otherwise, and that is completely different than your new claim that the main reason why people voted for Donald Trump was because of the economy.
I do not have any new. What I just said was complete fact.
I guess your new question.
What do you mean?
Okay, so you're running away from the debate by filling your sink with water?
What are you talking about?
Just know that I count this as a dodge from the debate. At least it's funny.
What do you mean?
At least it's a funny way to run away from the debate, but you're still running.
In a sink? I'm in the fucking sink?
Yep. It's still a dodge, but at least it's a funny dodge. Let's go to move on to the next guest. We got Zane loading up inside of the queue. Yoinky, appreciate you. Oh, okay. Yoinky, I appreciate you for the $20 on Super Chat. Don't be sending me weird-ass messages like that, though. Zane, do you support Trump?
I do.
How old are you?
22.
Okay. All right. What year were you born in?
2004.
Cool. Have a couple of people to thank. Then the mic, the floor, yours. Let's see here. A couple of people to thank over on Venmo and PayPal real quick before we pass this guest the mic. Thank you so much, Shannon, for the $25, who says, I look forward to your streams every day. I love spamming the comments. Quote, unquote, Trump is a racist. Keep up the good work and keep on cooking them. I love that, Shannon. W Shannon in that comment section. Continue to piss the Trump supporters off down below. We love that, Shannon. I want to get 250 Shannon W's plus. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate you. Ava, thank you for the $10. Who says, hey, Dean, I've been watching you for a long time. I also wanted to say thank you for saving the YN. You're such a hero. Dude, that's a funny ass video. Kaylee, that is Kayle. Thank you for the $20 donation. Thank you so much, Kaylee. That is very kind of you. Who says, I'm so happy to support a quote unquote grifter who's willing to push back against misinformation, misogyny. Well, I appreciate you for the love. Let's go. W Grift and W Kaylee in that comment section. Heather, thank you for the $10 as well. Reminding everybody from Washington to vote tomorrow. Thank you so much for the $10. Charla with the $10 saying, thank you for saving YN. Madison with the $5 and Ellie with the $5. I appreciate y'all. Daniel, thank you for the $10. Who says, what's your favorite cocktail? I like a Godfather. That's my favorite cocktail. Sergey, thank you for the $10 as well. You says, if the people that come up and scream that they actually love you did actually love you, they would follow the rules on God. Jonathan, thank you for the $10. Who says, you're an inspiration. Keep it up, man. Thank you, Jonathan. And then Brax, thank you for the $10 as well, who asked me not to read their message out loud, so I will keep it to myself. Just know that I'm very, very grateful for you. Over on PayPal, thank you for the $10 Nade, Nade, who says, thank you for everything that you do. Dean, much love from the UK. Much love to you and the UK. Thank you for the $10. Medina, thank you for the $5. Marty with the $10, who says, thank you for showing me how dumb these MAGA fucks are. Bro, you got it, Marty. Appreciate you for the 10. And then Mei Lee, thank you for the $10 as well. And then we have one last person to thank before we'll pass the mic to this guest. Huge shout out to Sarah. That is Sara. Thank you for the $100 donation on PayPal. That is way too much fucking money. Thank you for the support for what we do. That is incredible. I don't deserve a penny of that. I want to see so much love for the goat Sarah down below. Genuinely just preposterous. Sarah with $100 says, hey Dean, I'm a mama too through adoption and am pro-choice. Listening to these people debate how quote unquote pro-life they are, but never actually doing anything to help the baby/kids that are here. Start asking them how many kids they plan on fostering or adopting. That will quiet them because they plan on fostering/adopting 0. I appreciate you not just for the $100, the insane love, but the absolute truth nuke of a century. Huge shout out to Sarah. Zane, the mic and the floor are yours. Tell us why you support Trump.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Oh, man. You know, I'm doing all right. Let's see. I've been live for an hour and a half. Come back in an hour. I bet I'll be dead just because you guys wear me out.
Nice. Well, I'm glad that hopefully tonight everybody here can have a civilized conversation. Anyways, I'm going to say that I do support Trump because of abortion. I am going to say that I do not agree with it fully in the sense of there is some things that may happen that unfortunately I cannot change on behalf of sick people in the head, but I do think accountability is a big problem.
Okay. So, I don't know, man. What's been with it? Recently, everybody wants to talk about abortion. I'm okay with that, but let's just try to keep the conversation on track. So, you mentioned something about people being sick in the head and accountability. Tell us all how this plays into abortion.
Well, I'm just talking in the sense of rapes, I guess. I mean, there is a part of me that believes there's a very small percentage that stuff is avoidable, I guess you would say, in the fact of, how do I put it? I don't want to sound like I'm trying to say something bad, but more in the sense of like, if there is a woman who is publicly intoxicated and somebody grabs her, no, you cannot stop that person that's sick in the head. But I think that honestly, there is steps to prevent, and this is a very small percentage, so don't call me a piece of shit, that is more preventable of stuff like that happening.
Okay, I'm just going to ask you questions because I don't know what the hell you're trying to tell us. Do you think that rape victims should be legally allowed to access an abortion?
I think it's depending on the case. Now, what I mean by that is...
what cases should rape victims be able to access abortion, and which cases should they not be able to access abortion?
I think that in the case that they should not be able to access abortion is if they were with a piece of shit guy and something ended up happening to them. This is preventable. You're able to see pieces of shit way before this, whether they were getting beaten, verbally abused. It's a ladder. You know what I'm saying?
So are you saying that it's a woman's fault for getting raped?
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that, you know, I think that...
I mean, that's usually the way... That's usually the way that we use that language. You're like, oh, well, they should be forced to maintain that pregnancy because although they were raped, that was preventable. They could have left the guy. Well, like, usually when we use that language, oh, what happened to you was preventable if you were to have done something else. That is absolutely shifting the blame to them. Like, for instance, if I get like a big old gouge in my arm because I fall while hiking and I land on a rock and all of a sudden I need to be medevaced out, and then I go home to my mom and she's like, yeah, you could have prevented that by getting sturdier shoes and not being such a dumb klutz or something like that. Like, okay, my mom is blaming me for falling and cutting my arm open on the rock. Do you agree?
Yeah, 1000%.
Okay, but that's exactly what you just did. When I asked you in what scenarios should rape victims not be able to access abortions, you went, yeah, because they're with this man that they knew was abusive and they chose to stay with them and that led to the rape. You are blaming them for getting raped.
No, 1000% not, and I'm not saying it's justifiable in any way. But say there's a scenario
but
where
there's no difference.
A man is beating on a woman,
we
and
just
then
took
the
your
woman
same
stays.
language.
Do you see what I'm saying? A woman.
Do you understand
stays,
why women will stay in those relationships sometimes? Because they're scared if they leave, they'll kill them.
Well, I mean, there's other steps.
No, that's the reason. If you ever see a woman that is still with a very abusive partner, okay, like extremely abusive, like we're talking this woman gets beat, this woman gets killed, okay, this woman gets like beat to the brink of death, and that woman is still with him, the only reason why that woman would still be with him is because they're scared that if they leave them, either they will get killed, or maybe they have children with that man, and they're scared about that man having shared or sole custody over those children to then harm the kids. Okay? Those are the reasons why you will see women that stay in incredibly abusive relationships with men. Is that the woman's fault? No, that's a man's fault.
I wouldn't necessarily pin it on anybody, because I do understand the point of staying. I think anybody that is over, honestly, the age of 25, and it's fucked up to say, but has been in a situation where stuff has just not been that good. But I don't think it's the baby's fault because of that.
Okay. All right. So now you want to argue that a rape victim shouldn't be able to access abortion because it's not the baby's fault. So just to clarify the last argument you gave about how rape victims should be able to access abortion if they stay with an abusive husband, that just goes out the window, okay? Because the reason why you think an abortion would be wrong for a rape victim has nothing to do with what led to that woman being raped. It has all to do with the fact that inevitably it's not the baby's, it's not the fetus's fault.
Well, not only is it not the fetus's fault, but in this certain situation, that is also preventable. I mean, you can live with your parents, you can go to the courts and press charges and get a PC or whatever the case may be. There's ways around it. And I understand that women may not think about that in the moment.
So you're saying that there's ways around getting raped. So therefore, the woman shares some of the blame for the rape.
I wouldn't really put it as blame.
Okay.
I just...
If it's not the case that the woman shares at least some of the blame, then why is this relevant to determining that she shouldn't be able to access abortion? The only way that you could say that this feature is ethically salient in the sense that it's relevant to the moral evaluation on if that abortion is a good thing or a bad thing is because you think that she shares some moral culpability for that action. What is moral culpability? Blame.
And do you not think it's morally right to get away from something that is not good for you?
Of course, I think it's a good thing to get away from things in which are hurting you, like abusive partners. But there are really strong physical concerns that need to be taken into account, like, is this guy going to kill me if I leave this relationship? Because it happens all the time. And if there is a possibility of that occurring, and that woman chooses to stay in that relationship, okay, I sympathize with the position that the woman is in. I don't blame her for being in that position. I blame the man.
No, and I'm not going to say, I don't even want to say blame, to be honest, because it sounds more fucked up than
If you're
really
not
is.
blaming her, then why is it relevant to the moral evaluation that it would be wrong for her to get an abortion?
Okay, then say it is blame. I mean, like, for instance, have you ever been in a messed up relationship and got out of it? I think
and that's why you should reject your view, because your view necessitates that you blame women for getting raped. Do you agree that in all scenarios, it is a bad idea to blame women for getting raped?
No, I think you're making it sound a lot worse than it is, thinking that I'm talking in a whole sense. I'm talking in a sense of, say, a fucked up relationship. There's ways out of it.
Oh my fucking God. You're telling me that I'm the one making things sound a lot worse. And at the end of the day, it's really not that crazy to, in a sense, blame a woman for getting raped. No, it's crazy. It is absolutely fucking insane to, in any sense, blame a woman that got raped.
If you're in a bad relationship, what are you going to do?
Women get raped without being in bad relationships.
We're just talking
like that's listen, let me explain this. Let me explain something to you here. Whenever I hear a man say, oh, well, she was raped because of what she was wearing. Oh, she was raped because of the relationship she was in. Oh, she was raped because of the fact that she's attractive. Oh, she was raped because of the fact that she had makeup on and she put a lot of effort into looking promiscuous. Oh, she was raped because of, the household that she lived in with this like very violent guy. Okay, all right. Well, let's just account for all of those factors. Let's make the woman ugly. Let's make the woman wearing pajamas. Let's make the woman old. Let's make the woman living alone, sequestered in an apartment far and away from any abusive men. Oh, yeah, guess what? Old ugly grandmas still get fucking raped. Oh, guess what? Dead bodies still get raped. Oh, guess what? Carcasses of roadkill still get raped. So whenever you try to tell me that the woman is to blame for staying in that relationship for what happened to her, I reject that because men rape women regardless of the conditions in which they live under. It's not like men don't rape women if they're not wearing promiscuous clothes. It's not like men don't rape women if they're not conventionally attractive. It's not like men don't rape women if they're not in a relationship with them. Okay, so how could we say that the woman is to blame for being in a relationship with him? How could we say that the woman is to blame for wearing the promiscuous clothes, for going to the bar, for putting makeup on?
This is exactly why I said, unfortunately, you can't stop sick and demented people. I'm not saying that the woman is fully for blame, because 1,000% there is cases outside of bad relationships where this stuff happens. And yes, I do think that the rapist
Do you think that
should be
Charlie
held
Kirk was
accountable.
partially to blame for getting assassinated?
I think that there should have
Because
been
he
more
knew
precautions.
he knew that he could have gotten assassinated. Oh, so for the people in the chat saying, "Oh, can you let him finish speaking?" Well, he's actually to blame for me interrupting him because he knew that joining my panel could lead to him getting interrupted. But anyways,
Should I be held accountable for getting interrupted?
Yeah, you should be held accountable for that. You should now lose access to legal rights such as healthcare, right? Because that's what you're saying about rape victims. But see, Charlie
no,
Kirk
that's not what I
had
said.
some reason to believe that at some point in the future he could have been assassinated. So is therefore Charlie Kirk to blame for getting assassinated?
I don't really like to speak on people that passed, man. I don't really.
Oh, but you like to speak on women that got brutally raped and impregnated?
No, you're turning it a whole different way than I said.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is
because I'm
exactly why
turning it
when I
against a
first started
man.
the argument, I said
Because I'm
sick and
turning it against a
demented
man
people.
that you like.
You
Guys, I just want to clarify.
cannot-
I just want to clarify. You don't want to engage in the argument anymore.
Dude,
Because now I'm turning it against a
dude,
man that you like.
No, you're making me. Okay, let me reset. Hold on. I did not say that women are held accountable for men's sick and demented actions. And
Yes, you are. You
this
are
goes
holding
for
them
both
accountable by
sides.
denying
Not
them
only
access to
men, but
abortion.
Women's too. I'm just saying, in the term of bad relationships, I think things can be prevented. That is exactly my word.
Okay. Well, guess what? If you take, things can be prevented, and you define prevention in a very simple, very, very non-complex, very deflated sense of just articulating the descriptive fact that if you were to have done or engaged in this other action, you likely wouldn't have faced this outcome. Okay, yeah, that's true. Charlie Kirk could have prevented his death by not showing up to Utah that day. Abraham Lincoln could have prevented his assassination by not showing up to the play that day. Okay? MLK could have prevented his assassination by, I don't know, calling the cops for no reason before he went home or staying at a hotel for the next 3 weeks instead. Okay, but does this mean that we should be blaming Abraham Lincoln for his assassination? Does this mean that we should be blaming Charlie Kirk for his assassination? That's a question I'd like you to answer because you're on the right. Does this mean that we should be blaming MLK for his assassination? Okay, but I would assume that your answer in all of those scenarios is no. We shouldn't be blaming MLK. We shouldn't be blaming Charlie Kirk. We shouldn't be blaming Abraham Lincoln. But we can blame women who are brutally raped by their partners and then forced to endure 9 months of fucking hell that can kill them, hell that can permanently change their body, hell that can permanently change their prospect on future lives because now they have a child and all of the obligations in which are incurred, hell which can completely and permanently change their mental states, behaviors, and attitudes. It's as if you just completely devalue and undermine the dignity in the life and character of women. And then as soon as they're raped by a man, you make commitments that aim towards the conclusion that the woman should be blamed that you are unwilling to make in any scenario where instead of it's a woman getting raped, it's a man that you like getting killed. It's a man that you like being harmed. It's a man that you like facing very unfair and wrong outcomes. Like maybe a man being fired from his job or not accepted as an applicant to a job because they're white and you're anti-DEI. That's actually another point. Maybe white people who are attempting to get hired at companies that have these DEI practices are to blame for getting rejected over their race because they knew that could be a reasonably foreseeable outcome. Listen, my point is we could just apply your logic to like anything, and now the victim of some wrong conditions is always to blame for those wrong conditions.
Well, this is the fourth time that I've said that woman should not necessarily be to blame on the fact. I'm just saying there is signs before that you can get out before that even happens.
Okay, well, you're saying it as if it's an easy thing to do. We already went over the practical concerns of why that might not be an easy thing to do. You see a sign that says this is the proper trail to get to the lake in the middle of the mountain because you're hiking, but you know that if you take this trail, you could possibly die because bears also live in those woods. I mean, a woman could possibly die and get killed by a man if she leaves him due to the fact that he's abusive. I think that those concerns need to be taken into account. But respond to the parody to Kirk. Does Kirk share some culpability for his assassination because he knew it could happen and there are things that he could have done to prevent it?
I can't speak on that, man. It just
Why?
it doesn't feel right.
Why? Oh, it doesn't feel right, so you think that you'd be doing something wrong by saying that he's partially to blame?
No, I just don't think it's right to speak on the facts. For me, at least. For
Why?
you,
Why is
I
it
mean,
not
you can
right?
do what you want,
Why is it not
but
right?
I'm just going to respectfully decline.
Why is it not right, bro?
Just because I personally don't feel like it's right.
Okay, can I get an explanation of why?
It's just not something I like to do, to speak on
Why?
dead people, I guess.
For what reason?
Well, my reason is my morals, but to be completely
Okay,
honest,
so you're
I
saying
just
that
don't.
you have some moral commitments that that in turn commit you to the position that it's wrong to say that Charlie Kirk is to blame for his assassination. Why don't those same moral commitments commit you to the position
I
that
said
it's
they
wrong
aren't
to
to
say a
blame,
rape
man.
victim is partially to blame for them being raped?
Did I? This is the 5th time now that I said that they aren't to blame. See, this
Yes,
is what
we
I'm
went
saying.
through this already. We went through how, in order for you to justify the position that this, what you're describing, is it all salient or relevant to an ethical evaluation that they shouldn't be able to access abortion, they would have to share some moral culpability for it, meaning that they would be to blame. And then you accept it explicitly. Yeah, I guess in a way, I am saying that women who are raped are partially to blame.
Well, I mean, just like I said earlier, you can't really stop sick and demented people, but in a normal relationship where, well, not necessarily, I shouldn't say normal,
Cranky, thank
but
you,
in
the
the
galaxy.
steps leading to this problem, don't you think if you get out of that, this wouldn't
Yeah, the steps
really
leading to
happen?
the
And I'm not
problem
saying
of
for all
Charlie
of them.
Kirk getting assassinated in Utah, don't you think he could have gotten out of that by maybe stop showing up in person, putting bulletproof glass in front of him, increasing his security detail, having private contractors through a security firm on the roofs of all relevant buildings, because we know that sometimes get assassinated by snipers on buildings in the surrounding area with a clear line of visibility? Okay. So Charlie Kirk is partially to blame.
Well, 1,000%. I mean, I do agree with that, but
Okay,
I like
so
to.
it's okay to
I
blame
don't
Charlie
know.
Kirk for his own
It's hard to
assassination.
say with Charlie.
It's hard to say about Charlie, but it's not hard to say about rape
No.
victims.
No, and once
It's
again,
hard to say
I
about
said they're
Charlie,
to
but it's
blame.
not hard to say about rape victims. So if you're not saying that they're partially to
blame?
blame, then what are you saying?
I'm saying that they should get out of the stuff that happens like that early.
Okay, you're saying that they should have done something that they didn't. So to clarify, are you blaming them for not doing something that they should have?
No, not at all.
Okay, if you're not blaming them for not doing something that they should have, then why do you think in turn they shouldn't be able to access abortion?
But why do you think it's the baby's fault that they should be able to access abortion?
When did I say that it was the baby's fault?
When did I say that they were to blame?
When you said that because they could have done something that they didn't do, therefore they should face the consequence of not being able to access abortion?
Just like when you said that they should be able to access abortion, meaning that the baby has to suffer from it?
What does it mean to suffer?
I mean, usually, well, in this sense, I guess it would be physically injecting something into the baby, cutting it up, and pulling it out. I mean, that's
Okay,
not.
so you're saying like
I
frustrating
personally
its
feel like if
biological
I was-
well-being?
Well, I mean, I think we could both agree that we don't necessarily want to be cut up and pulled out. That would not
Okay,
feel very good.
we don't want that to happen to us. So people, is a fetus a person?
I think that it becomes a living being from conception, but I'm not going to speak
That's not
on
what I
that
asked you.
because
Is it a
that my
person?
that is my religious view, and
Okay,
that is
so are you
I'm
gonna
not
are you gonna
bring
tell
that
me
into
if you think that
conversation.
are you gonna tell me if you think that the fetus is a person or not, bro?
As soon as it attaches to the wall, I believe it is a person.
What's a person?
Whatever you want to call it.
I'm asking you to define the word person.
Well, my views are different from yours.
Which is why I'm asking you to inform me of them. Because if they were the same of mine, I wouldn't need you to inform me of what your views are because I'd already know what they are. The reason why I'm asking you the question, what do you think a person is? But I'm asking you what a person is. What does it become? What is a person?
Well, a person usually becomes an older person, and then from there on, an older person. But I believe as soon as the sperm touches the wall, it is a person.
What is a person? You're saying it is X the moment it implants to the uterine lining. What is X? What is a person?
Well, I mean, that's me and you. That's as soon as the sperm attaches to the wall. That's, you know.
As soon as a sperm attaches to the wall, the sperm doesn't attach to the wall. The zygote attaches to the wall. But what's a person? You just gave me an example of people. You're a person, I'm a person. Okay, but what is a person? What traits do we possess that define us as people? I don't think it's the fact that we are a member of the human species. Okay, let's just take a zygote with a rare genetic defect that prevents any future growth, but is somehow being kept alive. It is a unicellular human zygote that is never going to be anything more than that. Would we say that's a person? No, that's trivial. That makes no sense.
Well, would you define somebody that's in a hospital connected to hospital machines as a person then?
Like somebody in a coma? Yeah. But the reasons why I'd argue that this unicellular...
What's the difference?
What's the difference between a person like you being in a coma and a unicellular organism that will never be anything more than a unicellular organism? Are you asking me that question seriously?
I mean, I said it.
I just want to clarify. Is that the question that you're seriously asking me? What's the difference between a unicellular fucking microbe and somebody like you or me that got into a bad car accident? Is that what you're asking me?
Am I to blame for asking that?
Okay. I just want to clarify. Is that the question that you're asking me?
Am I to blame if I'm asking
You're not
you
telling me. You're not telling me if that's the question that you're asking me or not. Can you fucking tell me if that's the question that you're asking me?
Can you fucking tell me am I to blame or not, Dean?
Why would I need to tell you if you're to blame for asking me that question? How is that relevant to discourse surrounding the subject matter in the slightest?
How is it relevant either way?
How is it relevant to know? Oh my goodness. Why is my question relevant? Okay. My question is relevant because it is a clarifying question on the question that you asked me as it would pertain towards our debate surrounding abortion ethics. That's why it's relevant. I'm literally just clarifying on the question that you asked. So are you able to clarify on the question that you asked?
Relevant?
Are you at? I don't know what your question is. That's why I'm asking you clarifying questions about it. Are you asking me, okay, that a person like you or I that got into a bad accident and is in a coma for a couple of days, are you asking me what the differences are between you or I being in that state and a unicellular microbe? Is that the question that you're asking me?
I honestly just think that there's a way out before it gets to points.
Or what are we saying? What are we saying here? Are you okay? You haven't clarified if that's a question that you're asking me, so we're just going to drop it. You're saying that there's a way out before what, and how does this relate to your greater view that abortion is wrong? Like, what are we doing?
That at least in the relationship sense, in the normal relationship sense, that this would not happen if the woman would get out early. But she is not to blame for that because she could be the stronger woman.
Okay, why should she not be able to get an abortion? What are the reasons?
Because why would there need to be one in the first place if she just got out of it early?
Wow, man. So to clarify,
We're running in circles,
reason,
dude.
so the reason why you think, okay, the reasons why you think a rape victim shouldn't be able to access abortion is because there are things that she could have done to avoid that pregnancy in the first place.
You're
correct?
saying that entirely. You're saying that.
Are you saying the reason why rape victims shouldn't be able to? Hey, sit down and shut up. Are you saying the reasons why rape victims?
You sit down and shut up, puss.
Yeah, bro.
I'm
Let's
talking too.
let's see who has the fucking bigger stick here. I happen to have the mute button on my side. I'll force you to sit down and shut up. So to clarify, the argument that you're making is that victims of rape shouldn't be able to access abortion because there's things that they could have done to avoid that rape. Correct?
You're making it seem like I'm talking in a sense of a whole.
Is that the fucking argument that you're making or not? Okay, listen, bro. We're going to write it down.
I've said this multiple times, Dean.
I repeated the last thing that you said word for word, you moron. M-O-R-O-N.
You're making it sound like
so we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to the fuck. We're gonna go back to the whiteboard. We're gonna go back to the whiteboard because this little boy can't track shit. Rape victims. Let's see here. Rape victims should not be able to access abortion because what are the reasons?
You forgot to put the part where I said the relationship part of it. A woman getting grabbed off the street? No. That like I said before, unfortunately you cannot stop sick and demented people.
Wait, why?
That's
She could have not been on the street in the first place. She could have stayed home that day.
So you're blaming her. That's what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I just want to clarify when you said that rape victims shouldn't be able to access abortion because they could have left that relationship that you were blaming them.
I got you.
Have you ever heard
I'm not saying
of what is
anybody's to
called
blame.
an internal critique of somebody's logic? So what I just did is I took your logic and I applied it to a woman that is raped on the street. And then you said, oh, so you're blaming her. Oh, okay. So your logic blames women that are raped. Cool.
Well, technically.
So what's the reason? I just want to specify
I'm the
it.
one who brought it up.
I just want to specify it. What are the reasons why rape victims should not be able to access abortion? They shouldn't be able to access abortion because, take it away.
Why should they?
Why should they?
Because
Okay.
I am not talking
Do you
about
think?
in the sense.
So I just want to clarify. Do you think that the statement "Why should they" is a valid reason for why you think that rape victims should not be able to access abortion? Okay, well then very similarly,
Okay,
I could
it's a
just argue the
simple yes
case.
or no
Shut up.
question. If-
I could just argue the case that rape victims should be able to access abortion because why should they not? Boom! All of a sudden, I have an argument just as strong as yours in favor of women who were raped accessing abortion. Okay. So what is this?
Okay, Dean, riddle me
Probably
this.
just
It's a yes
saying,
or no.
why should
If
they
a
have
woman
access
is in a
to
bad
rape?
relationship and she got out early.
No.
is it
I want to
preventable?
clarify. I don't want a question. I want an explanation. I don't know if you are new to conversation. I don't know if you are new to exchanging your beliefs and ideals with other people, but let me explain something very simple to you. Clearly, the prompt on the whiteboard says your belief. Rape victims should
I
not
to
be able to
blame to
access
be new to
abortion
conversation,
because
Dean? Come on.
So what I'm asking you for is to specify the reasons, not questions you have for me. No, the reasons why rape victims should not be able to access abortion. What is the first reason? Reason number 1. What is it?
For the 1,000th time, I'm not talking about it in a hole. Okay, there, you misspelled. Go back. I don't blame you for it. It's okay. There we go. I do not blame you for misspelling it, but I'm just talking about in a relationship sense. I feel like
Okay, rape victims in a relation.
Come on.
Okay. So
Not in
you
entirety.
specified. Listen. So you specified that you're specifically talking about rape victims that are in a relationship with a rapist.
Put that. Yeah, there we go.
Should not be able to access abortion because. What's the argument?
Do you or do you not believe that if a woman got out early, this could have?
Is this a
been
question?
preventable?
Is this
And
a
that
question?
not
Is this a question?
No, it's a statement.
Okay. Then what was the statement?
Well, you would know if you wouldn't have fucking interrupted me, Dean. Come
We
on.
said, do you or do you not believe? Okay, that would be the preface for a question because you're inquiring of what I believe. Inquiring of what I believe would be a question. So we're going to go back to the start.
That's more of a self-moral.
Without inquiring about what I believe, because that would be a question, not a reason. What are the reasons why rape victims in a relationship with a rapist should not be able to access abortion?
Because I believe personally. I'll let you go. You can type it.
Sorry, those were just filler words. Just give the reason.
Because I believe personally that there is a way out beforehand. Now, I'm not talking for every single sense. Just like I said 100 times, unfortunately, you cannot stop sick and demented people. And I think those people should 1,000% be held accountable. But I am just saying, if you see bad signs, get out of that. Go.
Okay. And when you say way
Run
out, what
like
do you
the
mean?
wind. Fly away. Move
Okay.
your shit. Go back to your parents. Who cares? One step back is 10 steps forward.
Okay. And what do you mean by way out?
Leave.
Way out. A way to prevent the rape? Is that what you're saying?
Not even rape, to
Mara,
be
thank you
honest.
so much
Just
for the
any
galaxy.
bad thing. Any bad thing. To get beat, to
Okay.
get
But
verbally
like
abused,
but like
to get
clearly in this
physically abused.
clearly in this context we're talking about rape because we're asking if rape victims should not be able to
Yes,
access
but it
abortion.
can just get to that point, and the only
Okay.
reason you're saying that
Okay,
is
so
because
let's
you know I'm right.
so let's evaluate the reason. Let's evaluate the reason here. Okay? First reason is rape victims should not be able to access abortion given that they're in a relationship with a rapist because there's a way out, aka a way to prevent the rape beforehand by leaving the relationship. Okay, here's a first question I have for you.
Early,
What if-
leaving the relationship
What
early.
if what if there are good reasons that they shouldn't leave the relationship? Like they think if they were to leave the relationship, the rapist would try to kill them.
And if you got out early, do you think what's the probable of that?
If they got out early before they were abused? Well, if they got out early before they were abused, okay, well, what kind of foreseeable reason could they have to believe that their partner might rape them? Okay? Like, I'm led to
Verbally
believe...
abusive, mentally spiteful, pushing him off them, whatever the case
Okay.
may be.
Okay,
in
so
a
just to
forceful
clarify,
way.
your claim is if a woman's boyfriend is verbally abusive and she does not leave him and she is raped, she shouldn't be able to get an abortion. Why does that... Okay. So what?
Why does that have to get to that?
Why does that
If
make abortion
somebody is
wrong?
rude to you over and over and over,
Wait.
Are you going to leave or are you going to stay, Dean?
Okay. Well, yeah. If somebody's verbally abusive to me, I'm going to leave. But I think if
There
I
we
was a
go.
woman and I made the wrong decision of staying, that I should be able to access an abortion if I'm raped. So that actually leads me to my next question. Okay. The reason
Which
why
is
you think
not
that rape
blame.
victims
Is
shouldn't be
not
able to
blame.
access abortion is because they're in a relationship with a rapist and they don't leave that rapist. Explain to me why this reason makes the abortion wrong.
Because why is it the child's fault that it needs to suffer?
Of the relation part, their ship beforehand. Okay. So the explanation of why this motivates, okay, the abortion to be wrong is because why is it the child's fault? Okay, so what are you saying is the child's fault here?
No, I said why. Okay. I'm sorry. That's
What
my
are you
fault.
saying is like not the child's fault?
The ability for it to be unborn. Hold on. Let me hit my stick before
Wait,
you
you're
keep
not.
going.
No. So let's track this again. Okay, you're saying that rape victims who are in a relationship with a rapist should not be able to access abortion because there's a way out of the partnership beforehand. Okay, and the reason why that motivates the conclusion that abortion would have been wrong is because why is it the child's fault? Okay, when you ask the question, why is it the
not
child's
why.
fault?
You're
What
skipping
are you
over
questioning?
the most important point: to leave early, and you cannot disagree
Bro,
with that.
I didn't skip over anything. That's the reason. There's a way out of the partnership beforehand. You'd say to leave the relationship early.
Not beforehand, early on.
Okay, don't those two things mean the same thing?
No.
What's the difference?
Beforehand could be past. Early on means showing early signs of.
What?
Logically, it definitely means something different.
What are you saying? No one understands the words that you're saying.
Early on. As soon as that person mentally, physically, verbally abuses you, whatever the case may be, I'm all for giving people second chances, but when it happens, you need to just get out. Go live your life. It's better.
Okay, so you're saying that women who are in abusive relationships should leave the relationship. Why does that make the abortion wrong?
What are you talking about? If they left the relationship, it wouldn't have to happen in the first place.
And why does that make abortion wrong?
Why does it make it right?
You're dodging. You're completely burden shifting on me. You have to answer the question.
How am I burden shifting if they left?
Because I'm asking you the question, why does this make the abortion wrong? And your response is, why does it make it right? You're the one making the positive claim that it makes it wrong, okay? Because you made a positive claim, you're going to have to provide evidence for that positive claim to be true. So give a fucking answer. Why does it make it wrong?
Listen, my fucking answer is that if they got out early and just left and stretched their wings, then this wouldn't happen.
Yeah, this is a circular argument. You're arguing that them not leaving the relationship early on makes the abortion wrong because they didn't leave the relationship early on. So in other words, you're pre-assuming the conclusion is one of the premises in the argument. One moment. You're pre-assuming the conclusion is one of the premises in the argument. You're giving me a circular argument.
You're giving me circular answers. So we're just revising the original.
What is a circular answer? Wait. What's a circular answer?
Giving an answer that leads back to the same question. Dodging.
No, your argument leads back to the same question. Your argument leads back to the same question. You made the statement. You made the statement that it is wrong for a victim of rape in a relationship to get an abortion because she could have left the relationship earlier on. I'm asking you a question to learn more about why you think the fact that she could have left the relationship earlier on then makes it wrong in the future for her to get an abortion. Okay? You can't just say, well, because she could have left the relationship earlier on. That doesn't inform me of any substance that explains why the fact that she didn't makes it wrong for her to get an abortion.
So
Imagine this. Imagine this. Sit down and shut the fuck up. Imagine this. Imagine I give you the argument that abortion is not wrong because I don't value the fetus. And then you're like, why don't you value the fetus, Dean? And then I'm like, because abortion's not wrong. Would that be a valid argument or an invalid argument? That would be an invalid argument. Why would that be an invalid argument?
Because it hasn't even got to that point yet if they left early. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Okay, you're not even listening to me. Because you're still talking about your argument. Meanwhile, I'm in the middle of giving a parody case of your argument, an analogy, to demonstrate why you're giving an insufficient account of why you think that the abortion is wrong. Can you please listen to me?
A circular answer.
This is just a crazy guy saying random words that he doesn't understand. I'm going to go back to the parody case. I want you to listen to what I have to say, okay? Mr. fucking crazy guy in the street corner with the fucking cardboard sign that says the earth is about to end. Like, you're just spamming random words. I don't even know what to say. Going back to the argument, do you agree that if I were to say that abortion's not wrong because the fetus is not valuable, and the fetus is not valuable because abortion is not wrong, that I would be giving you an insufficient argument that is invalid because it is circular?
But why does something like that need to happen in the first place when it's preventable?
Do you not agree? Do you or do you not agree that the argument I just gave you is invalid because it's circular?
I mean, yes, you gave me a circular answer, yes.
Okay. That's what you did. When I asked you, okay, why you think abortion is wrong for rape victims in a relationship with a rapist, you said because they could have left the relationship before they're raped. And I said, why does the fact that they could have left the relationship? Okay. So abortion.
They should is different. Because they could have.
So abortion.
That it got to that point. They should have means they could have left early on, just like I said before, and spread their wings. Go find something good.
Okay. All right, man. Listen, I think that you're an incredibly low IQ idiot. You don't have any ability to track argumentation in the absolute slightest. I'm trying my very best to reason with you, but I just think that because you are simply an unreasonable person, no matter how much I try to reason with you, it's going to be successful. So I'm going to make this just a billion times easier. This is my last attempt to reason with a low IQ idiot. Okay,
can you answer me this?
We're going to completely drop all of the rape stipulations.
Just answer me this.
We're going to completely drop all of the rape. We're going to completely drop all of the stipulations about this being an abortion for a rape victim. Why are elective abortions wrong? Why is any abortion wrong? I think this will make it easier.
Because, and I'm putting this in the sense of, say the parents are not in a good financial decision. I do not think the baby should suffer because of that. Now, I'm not talking about rapes. I am
Suffer.
not talking about.
You don't think that it should be killed. So what's the argument for that? What's it? What? So when you say suffer, you mean like kill it, right?
I mean, yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that you don't think that the
I don't
fetus should be
think they
killed.
think it feels
Okay.
good. Like,
Yeah.
you know
Why
what
is
I'm
it?
saying?
Okay. And why is it wrong to kill it? What's the argument for the claim that it should not be killed?
In that case, I think the parent should be held accountable.
You're not answering my question. My question is, why is it wrong to kill the fetus? The last claim you made is that the fetus should not be killed. What's the argument for that?
Because it does not result in the baby suffering for the parents' poor financial situation.
Okay, so you're saying that it shouldn't be killed because if it's killed, it will suffer. Correct?
Not really.
Okay, so then why shouldn't it be killed? Hello?
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I was on.
Why
mute.
should it not be killed?
Because it's not the baby's fault that the parents have a poor financial
Okay,
situation.
so the baby shouldn't be killed because it's not the baby's fault that the mom wants to kill it. I agree with you.
You
I
think
agree
it
with
is?
you.
Okay,
I agree
okay,
with you.
okay.
I agree that it is not the fault of the fetus, okay, that the pregnant woman wants to get an abortion. Because I don't think
Now
that
let's put it in
fetuses-
your way. Do you think
Shut
the
up.
fetus should?
I agree with you that it's not the fault of the fetus in any morally relevant way that the pregnant woman wants to kill it. Because in order for something to be the fault of yourself in a morally relevant way, okay, like you had to have engaged in actions, okay, with foreknowledge that caused that outcome, or like reckless intent. Okay, well, a fetus can't intentionally engage in actions because they don't have a mind. So it's definitely not like the morally culpable fault of the fetus that the woman wants to get an abortion. But help me understand. Help me understand this very simply. Do you think it is the fault of a cow that you want to kill it and eat it for dinner? No, but you still think it's okay to kill it. So just because it's not the fault of the thing that you want to kill does not make it wrong for you to kill it in all scenarios. So then why does it make it wrong in this scenario? Is it because the fetus is a human?
Well, I don't personally off cows. That's not really my thing.
Do you think that it's wrong to kill a cow?
I think that's a different sense. You know what I'm talking about? That's
It's
just
not
like
though, because what this
that's
demonstrates
just
is because
like
you
if
don't think it's
get
wrong to kill a
into car
cow.
crash with a
What the reason why I'm giving you this analogy is because it is a circumstance where you are killing something without that something being at fault for the reasons why you're killing it. And you don't think it's wrong. Okay. So therefore, it's not true
So if you get
that
into
an
a
also
car crash with a pregnant woman, what are you getting charged with?
Okay. Are you going to allow me to finish?
You're getting charged with double homicide. But this is just a circular conversation, so I'm gonna let somebody go. Dodging, say whatever you want. I understand. I'm just saying that women should get out early. I'm glad we could have this conversation.
Listen, bro. Even if you stipulate every potentially confounding variable, like her partner, dude, and he fucking left. Even if this is something good that I just saw. Even if he stipulates every potentially confounding variable, her partner may kill her, she's financially dependent on him, scared, emotionally dependent, so on and so forth. You also stipulate what like 100% infallible foreknowledge that she'll be raped if she stays, and stipulate that she was very easily accessible at no cost alternatives. Okay? It's still pretty obvious that that doesn't count as consent for the sex, or that would incur blame on her when she gets raped. And in like normal, everyday, real life cases, basically none of those stipulations hold. I saw somebody send that message in a group chat I'm in, and that's super true. Do you guys want to take a guess at what that guy's IQ is? Paul, do you support Trump?
Hold on, Dean. Hold on. Dean.
Do you support Trump, Paul?
man. Let me.
I'm not in the mood, bro. I had to just talk to a moron for an hour straight. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Are you a Trump supporter?
No, I'm gonna be nice.
All right. I hope you have a good rest of your day, bro. Seriously, I hope that you take care. Let's get to move on to the next guest. Only opposite side of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president, please and thank you. I'd appreciate that so much, you guys. Only opposite side of the queue if you're here for debate, bro. Only opposite side of the queue if you're MAGA. Appreciate you for the money gun. Ron, appreciate you for the money gun. Thank you. Only opposite side of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. Let's go to try to get the next guest up here. Dude, I'm not going to fucking lie, man. These Trump supporters today have just been tiring. They've been stupid. They've been wrong. They've just been brainless. And they've just been unwilling to move an inch. It's like I'm talking to a flat earther that A, just has no reason to believe the earth is flat. They just do. And then I'm like a fucking NASA scientist astronaut who just like went around the moon and saw the globe earth, giving them like all of this evidence that the earth is not flat. And they're just like, no. Oh, here's a picture that I took on my fucking phone. No. Here's a video that I recorded with these meta glasses 24/7. No. You know, oh, here's like this complex mathematical arithmetic that proves with necessary certainty that the earth is round. No. You know what I mean? That's how I'm feeling right now. That's how I'm feeling right now. Landon, do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you also think that women are in relationships with a man that inevitably rapes them is to blame for getting raped? Or is that just like I think that other Trump supporters believe in? Or is that a thing that all Trump supporters believe in?
No, I mean, I think that's like genuinely stupid. I mean, there are some pretty awful men out there, and I think that women get trapped in these cycles, and it's not the victim's fault. These abusers need to.
Sorry, man, your mic is a little bit shaky. Is there anything that you
shaky.
could do to fix that? I'm actually going to give you a moment to try to fix that while I thank a couple people here. Huge shout out to Siri. Thank you for the $100 donation over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much for that love, Siri. I want to see 1,000 Siri W's down below in that comment section. Thank you so very much for that love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Siri. Mary, thank you for the galaxy as well. Siri with $100 says, my sister recently escaped her psychologically and physically abusive boyfriend. It took 10 years. He had taken away her driver's license, bank accounts, and made her endorse her paychecks to him so he kept her money, all under the threat of violence. We're so glad that she got out of it. And I'm so sorry that the conditions that your sister lived through were just downplayed by that last idiot. It was a crazy conversation with a crazy nut job. Thank you so much for the $100, but I'm really happy that your sister got out of that. Thank you so much. Alyssa, thank you for the $20 who says, hey, VOD watcher here early. Men like this should have no opinion on women's bodies. Men like that should have no opinions, point blank period, bro. Let's just take their right to vote away. I'm in support. Thank you, gay uncles, for the $50 over on Super Chat. Thank you so much. Let's get 500 gay uncles W's. Thank you, gay uncles. Gay uncles with a $50 says, to quote unquote old Gen Xers, Jamie and I appreciate you and the morals that you live by. Thank you. Why, thank you, gay uncles. Thank you. Culture, thank you so much for the fireworks as well. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Let's show some love to Siri and gay uncles down below in that comment section. A couple people to quickly thank over on Venmo and PayPal. Thank you so much, Kirsten, for the $10, who says $5 towards strongly encouraging Zayn to get a vasectomy and begging him not to reproduce. How about men just don't be abusive in the first place? Quote unquote spread your wings in another universe, Zayn. True. Thank you, Lauren and Amy, for the $5 as well. Thank you guys so much for that love. I really appreciate you as well, Katie, for the $30, who says Zayn is so gross. Thank you for standing up for women, Dean. We need more men like you. I promise that not every man thinks that women are to blame for getting raped. And the fact that any dude, that's just so crazy to me. It's just so fucking crazy to me. I appreciate you for the $30. Please show some love to Katie down below. Same thing to you, Janaea. Thank you for the $50 on Venmo. Thank you so much. Let's get 500 Janaea W's. Janaea with the 50 says this dude is the exact reason why there's this girl on TikTok that posted the Pepe meme story time, not realizing that she was date raped. It's not talked about enough. Her name is Tati Logan. I'll take a look at that. Thank you so much, Janaea, for the $50. Brandon, thank you for the $12. I appreciate you for being here. And Amy, thank you for the $50, who says, I've never been more triggered by a guest. I was raped 30 years ago, freshman year of college at a frat because I was alone. No cell phone, didn't know who to call or where to go. Am I at fault because I was drunk? Dude, I'm so sorry that was triggering Amy. I bet that was triggering to a lot of the viewers. He was just a complete nut job. I really appreciate you for the $50, and I'm so sorry to hear that happened to you. Thank you so much for the 50. Same thing to Madison. Thank you for the $10 calling the guest crazy tonight. True. Leo, thank you so much for the $15 as well. Just saying fuck the last guest. Super true, Leo. I appreciate you, and I'm sorry to hear that happened to you. Weston, Bridget, Jalen, and Emma, appreciate you guys for the $5. And then Caitlin, thank you for the $15, saying first time, a long time listener, first time donor. Thank you for the love. And then Helen, thank you so much for the $15 as well, calling that last guest entity. True. Elizabeth, thank you for the $10 as well, who says, tonight I'm using your stream to take my mind off of my CPA exam tomorrow. Wish me luck. Good luck, Elizabeth. And then one more on Venmo. Thank you, Wava, for the $10. Who says, Dean, I'm 19 and about to go to a house showing to potentially buy our first house with my partner. Wow, Ava, at 19 years old in this economy, good for you guys. I'm proud of y'all. Over on PayPal, thank you, Danielle, for the $25. Who says, what if the first time they hurt you is by raping you and getting you pregnant? I fucking hate this heartless asshole. Fuck Zane, bro. He was an idiot, Danielle, and I appreciate you for the $20. Same thing to you, SJ. Thank you for the $20 as well. Thank you so much. Who says, for dealing with these migraines in human form, keeping it a buck. Dude, I couldn't agree with you more, SJ. These people are lousy. They suck so much. Thank you so much, Star, Jasmine, Kimberly, and Vanessa for the $5. And Hermione, thank you for the $10, who says, hey, Dean, I'm glad that you aren't afraid to defend the truth. Well, thank you, Hermione, for being here. Thanks for the $10, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the stream. Isabella with the $10 says, fuck Zane. Super true. Alana with the $10 says, fuck Zane. Super true. And Will, thank you for the $40 donation, who says, I absolutely love your lives and look forward to them. I'm in Australia, but I love seeing how much you fight for what you believe in. Well, huge shout out to you. Huge shout out to Australia. And thank you for being here, Will. And as I've told a couple of the other donors, I hope that you enjoy the rest of the debates tonight. And thank you for the love. Same thing to Jacob and David. I appreciate y'all. Sorry, Jacob and Molly. I appreciate y'all both for the 10. Molly, I'm really proud of you. And then Jacob with the 10 says, I'm wondering if you're ever going to bring the goat Gideon back on live. I don't know. It could happen at some point. And with all that being said, we're actually caught up. If you want to support me, if you want to support the live stream, you can find a link to my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in the bio on my TikTok. Pin message over on YouTube, but the handle's always at the top of the phone screen on TikTok too. Just my name, Dean Withers, without the letter E in the last name Withers. Why don't you take it away and tell us why you support Trump?
Sorry, is my mic better now?
Yeah.
I'd say the biggest reason I support Trump is just for the simple fact that he keeps more money in my pocket. I actually did debate Parker like earlier today on abortion, so I don't really want to go that route. It seems like he had a lot of
Why is this guy's mic so shitty? Do you have AirPods in, a headset on?
No, dude, I'm actually like so confused.
Oh, now it's clear.
Okay, so I
keep
had
on
it
doing
on
whatever
like,
you're doing right now.
Yeah, I had it on the wireless charger, so I'll keep it off there.
That'll fuck with it. The wireless charger will fuck with it. Fun fact.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Gotcha. I'll keep it off.
Okay, so Trump keeps more money in your pocket. Okay, well, I mean, when we look at the economy as a whole, it's definitely worse off. We got one of our worst jobs report in 20 years last year. When we look at the growth rate of real median wages, that's worse off. It was better under Biden than today under Trump. When we look at prices and inflation, that's worse off. Inflation has increased by like 1.5%. So when you say that you support him because you want to keep more money in your pocket, I'd assume that this is you implying that you have more money because of him. Why are you not concerned with how he impacts the rest of the economy, A? And B, what specifically is he doing to allow you to keep more money in your pocket?
So I'm an employer. I have a company. We employ 45 employees at the current moment. And the biggest thing there is that, you know, there's a lot of tax cuts and a lot of benefits that I'm able to take advantage of. And, you know, I could look it up. To be totally honest with you, I don't file my own taxes. You know, I have a person who does that for me. I will say I saved a lot more this year. And
how much more?
7%.
Okay.
So,
because of the big beautiful bill?
I would think
that's a thing that you'd have to prove, because there are like possibly many reasons why you got 7% more back in 2025 than in 2024. Maybe your business expenses were higher, so you could deduct more from your gross income to your taxable income. Or maybe there's some depreciation of the machinery required to produce your goods or other assets that you own from 2024 that really paid off and helped you save on taxes because of prescribed losses. Okay, but like that's not a change in tax code. That's just going to be a change in how much taxes you owe, regardless of what the current tax code is, based upon deductibles and the value of your assets going down that you could write off. So the question is, I would need you to demonstrate that you specifically save because of the Big Beautiful Bill, and if so, in which ways? Because at the end of the day, the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities is pretty clear that the Big Beautiful Bill is harmful to most people. But maybe you're not the average American. Maybe you truly are a member of the top 1 to 3%, and it did help you out more. I guess what I would say is I don't think that a marginal benefit to yourself is worth the maximally large detriment to 120 million Americans in the working class who have less purchasing power today than they did a year and a half ago because of the Big Beautiful Bill, and the fact that 10 million low-income Americans lost access to health insurance and 3 million lost access to food stamps.
So that's another thing. Like, I personally don't care. Like, if I'm giving money to the government for taxes, I want that to go towards like schools and like roads. Like, I don't want anybody else. Like, I think food stamps are for the most part a big problem. I think all those benefits that we give to these low income people is not really beneficial in the long run.
Why?
Well, it depends. Like, if there's a single mother out there who's, working a job, working 2 jobs maybe, and she can't afford to feed her children, obviously, like 100%, I will want that person to have food stamps. I think that her and her kids should have access to health care. However, if there's someone who would like to take advantage of the government and, sit at home all day, scroll on TikTok, listen to Dean Withers, like, I think that should exclude them from... Okay, I was kind of joking there, but I think that should exclude them from, getting those types of benefits if they are unwilling to work.
Okay. Do you think that they should still be able to drive on public roadways, call the cops, and call the firefighters if they need them?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, so they should still have access to some social safety nets?
Yeah, it's like if we say, hey, like, if you want to, sit on your butt all day, you can't drive, like, that would cost.
Why? That's them accessing a benefit paid for by the taxpayers.
Yeah, but if we were to restrict that, like, that would just cause taxpayers to spend even more money trying to restrict stuff like that. And it's also like, hey, maybe you want to try and get a job.
I think it actually saved taxpayers money because then the roads would degrade at a significantly slower rate due to the fact that there's less drivers on them, meaning that the upkeep and the maintenance of our roads would be significantly less expensive due to the fact that we'd have to do less of it. Okay? Or, just like cops and firefighters. Oh, before the cops show up to your house because you reported a crime, they first check to ensure that you are a taxpayer, and if you're not a taxpayer, they don't come because that would be you allowing them access to a social safety net. And by the way, that is a conversation completely irrelevant to the Big Beautiful Bill's cuts to food stamps because there's already been a work requirement on federal food stamps forever now. It just defunded the program by $156 billion and cut some seniors off of it.
Why do seniors not have like Social Security that can pay for stuff like that?
Okay, because Social Security, A, can't make ends meet in all scenarios, and B, there's some quote-unquote seniors that aren't on Social Security because they aren't at the age of eligibility quite yet, but I still consider them a senior because they're close to it. I think that the Big Beautiful Bill just required people that were like nearly seniors to work in order to receive food stamps. But, the new work requirement was for Medicaid. Now people have to work to get Medicaid, and I disagree with that.
I don't disagree with that. It's health, like Medicaid, I know provides stuff like dental assistance and other things like that, and it gets to a point where maintaining your health is is a privilege. I think in a lot of ways it's not always a right. Like it is in most senses. Like sure, like if you get shot, you you have a bullet wound that needs to be fixed. Like no one should be denied care because of that. But it does get to a point where if you're not working and
Wait. Do you agree that a lot of people end up dying from preventable health diseases because they don't have health care?
yeah, I would say so.
51,000 people die from that per year in America. In America, per year, 51. They are essential. They're necessary. They're needed for a cohesive, productive society.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, if you're not working and like I couldn't care less. It's you my tax dollars don't need to go towards supporting your health.
Okay. So explain to us why you think that they should be able to access the cops or the firefighters.
Simply because it's too hard to relegate them.
Imagine it was easy. Imagine that every time you called the cops, your number was tied to you and you were tied to your social security number and your social security number was tied to your working status. If it was easy to track, would you argue that low-income Americans without a job shouldn't be able to access the systems that you pay for, like firefighters or like the police?
Well, like firefighters and police, like when you pay your phone bill, part of that is, part of that goes to like 911 and emergency operators. Like there's a tax in it. Like I'm sure like you've looked at your phone bill, like at least mine on it, I'll see like, because I have a business account and my employees all have like business phone numbers. I think I pay like, it's a very small amount, but it's like $1.31 or some small number like that each line for them to have that like 911 access and stuff like that.
Okay, so if that wasn't the case, should they be able to access the cops?
That seems like a strange hypothetical to me.
Well, that's not a strange hypothetical in the slightest. A lot of people that are going through a rough time will sometimes default on their phone bill. Yeah, that happens. If they need to access the cops, what do they do? They just go bang on their neighbor's door and say, "Hey, let me use your landline" or some shit. Yeah, I mean that's a conceivable circumstance of something that occurred. Should that individual be able to access the cops or the firefighters?
The more you say this, the less I'm opposed to saying, hey, like your social security number is tied to your phone number. Like I'm not totally opposed to saying, hey, if there's an easy way to know who is not working and who is not contributing to society, I'm not completely opposed to not allowing them access to emergency services.
Okay.
But then the thing is,
okay, so a woman that doesn't work and therefore doesn't pay taxes has a man with a hammer trying to break down her door, screaming that he's going to rape her while he's naked. She shouldn't be able to call the cops to arrest that man and prevent her from being raped.
That's a crazy picture. Like, a man.
People call the cops every day because of violent men. That's not crazy.
No, I agree. There are some awful, horrible people out there. Yeah, like I'm not totally opposed to that. I think that becomes.
I support Trump because I'm okay. I'm like low key okay with women getting raped. I'm just like low key okay with saying that society doesn't have a positive obligation unto women and girls to prevent them from getting raped, even when they could do so at a very low cost to themselves. I support Trump because I think that if you're a low income American and Mr. Saw himself is pulling your fucking fingernails out from the bed of your fingers, that you shouldn't be able to try to call the cops because you're not paying any taxes. I support Trump because if you have a 10-year-old daughter and a man is actively abusing her, but you know that men could overpower you too. They shouldn't be able to call the cops as long as they're not working. Like, what the hell? Like, come on. This discourse, this way of thinking, just simply adds like nothing productive to our society. And the funniest part is that you have a Bible verse in your bio too. What would God say about that? What would God say about your complete indifference to the dignity of people when they're not paying taxes?
You know, I think that the Bible is pretty against sexual assault. So I think that it would be something where, you know, it's like Judgment Day hath come, and you know, if whoever believes in Jesus will be saved. So, you know,
okay, but before Judgment Day comes, like, you know, while we're like on Earth in power and control of what we can do for our time here, you think it would be better to let that low-income woman get raped than to send the cops there to stop it?
No, I don't think it would be better.
Wait, then why do you think we should do it? If you don't think it should be better, then why do you think we should do it? It is implied in the fact that you think that's what we should do. We should not allow low-income women that are going to get raped to call the cops to prevent it. That's what you're saying we should do. So of course you think that would be better. And if you didn't think it would be better, then why do you think that's what we should do?
No, because I think that if we did instill something like that, and I didn't like say like, hey, like I'm all for this. I said I wouldn't totally be opposed.
So you're not totally opposed to the suggestion that it's better for a rapist to rape a woman than for the cops to stop the rapist from raping the woman?
Yeah, I mean, if she doesn't have a job and she's not contributing to society, I think that would be like a motivator for her, like to say, hey,
these people hate women.
I don't
guess
hate women.
after guess after guess after guess after guess after guess after guess all day long. They hate women. There's no other explanation. The last guest was saying, if you're a woman and you're raped, you're to blame because you could have left the relationship. This guest is saying, if you're a woman and you're about to get raped, you're basically to blame. I don't think the cops should show up and help you because you don't have a job. And you know what? You know what? All you rape victims out there, you know, that really should serve as motivation to get a job. Do you think it's okay to motivate people to get a job with rape?
No, you're not motivating them to get a job with rape. You're saying, hey, you don't have access to 911. You don't have access to the roadways. You don't have access to food stamps. You don't have. It's not just. I think you're really pulling in an extreme here. Like
it's not an extreme. Do women call the cops to stop a rapist from raping them every day? Do they? Does that happen? Is that an extreme or is that an everyday occurrence? Tell me, is that an extreme or is that an everyday occurrence? Do women call the cops because a man's gonna hurt them every day in this country? The answer is yes.
It's still an extreme though, because what I'm saying is that, like, let's say 90% of the women who are on food stamps never have to call the cops to say, hey, Mr. Jigsaw is getting ready to rape me or whatever. That does make it an extreme because they're also using the roadways more often, they're using food stamps more often, they're using Medicaid more often, so on and so forth. So I think that it can be an everyday occurrence and still be an extreme. Also, I would love to see the numbers of like, hey, if we no longer allowed women who were, about to get brutally raped to call the cops, what percent would it be who are no longer allowed to? Because
the reason why that's not an extreme is because that's why cops exist. Cops exist. So if somebody is trying to hurt you, you can call them and hope that they help you stop it.
Cops serve taxpayers.
Right? Like cops exist. So like, in the hypothetical that you're a woman and you're getting a text from your ex-boyfriend who's drunk and he's telling you that he is like on the way to your house, okay, to like rape you, you could call them and hope that they stop it. I mean, the protect and serve to protect the innocent and the vulnerable from like crazy people who want to hurt them. That's why the cops exist. So I mean, the case I'm giving you is not an extreme.
I mean, that's another problem. I think men drunk texting their ex is a big problem in
Right,
society.
yeah. That happens all the time. I bet that there's so many people, okay, watching the stream right now who can name a scenario where they had a man in their life that was really abusive towards them and got drunk and like tried to do bad things to them. That happens all of the time.
Yeah, like totally. I had a friend who did something similar. You know, it was actually, you know, maybe not intoxicated with him, and he decided he was going to go over to his ex's house. We all had to stop him, and you know that person is no longer my friend. I mean, that's like a crazy thing to do. That's awful. However, it just does get to a point. Why do we let freeloaders, you know, just live off of our taxpayer dollars?
Because we have a moral obligation to let them.
Why?
Because if we were not to let them, which would be at a very low cost to ourselves, there would be the high outcome costs of grave levels of harm. Okay? Low cost. Okay? Our country's GDP is like what? Over $30 trillion, roughly? Okay? So yeah, spending like a couple, like some money here and there to prevent, you know, women without jobs from getting raped is a good thing because it's at a very low cost to us, yet a very high cost to them.
Sure, and why can't they just get jobs?
They can get jobs, but they don't have one for miscellaneous reasons that we'd have to arbitrate on an individual basis. But the question is, what is the cost that we incur